there comes a point in the journey of any firm when they're going from a small firm, up to the mid-market, but that you need to determine whether the BD and marketing function that you have in the business is fit for purpose. Now, COVID has thrown this particular thing even to more sharp relief, as we've seen in the whole there, that there's a lot more emphasis now on firms understanding the need for the BD marketing function and what it does. But taking it back to where that works with a firm that's grown, naturally, organically, and reached that tipping point into mid-market, or whether it's grown fast through a number of rapid mergers, there comes that pivotal point where suddenly things have to change, and we look at how you can't get all your partners around the table and discuss the strategy. You don't know everybody else in the business, and you turn, particularly in an area now where we can't even get around the table because we're all sat in our homes, to look at what are those supporting structures, and are they the right ones for us now. As people grow organically, they often start with the marketing communications part. As we know, it's a main focus on events and PR and communications, and there are definite benefits to making sure you've got your brand ready. Everyone knows who you are, your reputation is solid in the market. As you tip and want to grow more and need to have those structures, there needs to be a greater focus on the business development, the sales part, the understanding of the clients, the listening, the engagement, the strategic focus of where you're wanting to get to in terms of your growth and what's the vehicle you're going to use to get there. And that means having to take a look at what you've got within those teams and determining whether they, in the skill sets they have currently, whether they're going to get you there. And there's so many different ways to approach it, in terms of whether the incumbent, the marketing director, needs to take a step back and have a think very closely with the board of the firm about where they want to be, and determine, obviously, greater emphasis now on digital, greater emphasis on what the knowledge is that we have about clients we can't go out and meet. And our team that you've got that may have grown organically with the firm or have come from different cultures, different organisations, being brought together, are they working towards that goal, and how are you going to look at that? Now, as we know, in any organisation, passions run high in terms of emotional engagement of what particular services they're getting from marketing and BD, and what they want from them. So sometimes it's often better to bring in that external audit function, bring in a consultant from outside who is agnostic, who can sit there and really audit the function and see, you say you're wanting this is your strategic goal, this is what you have, and do these two things marry up without the added layer of having worked with people for a very long time and knowing them on a deep personal level, and take away that pressure from it to create that decision around what the structure should be and whether people can pivot into these new goals, whether they need much change. And every firm is different. Every culture is different. Every appetite, every position on the adoption curve of marketing and BD is different and unique to each organisation. So often that external view can be very helpful. Or many firms, and I know many of my recruitment consultant friends are telling me this, that across the board, firms are reaching out to say, hire me a new head, get me a new director, they'll fix it all, or just bring a new person in. And that is one way to go. That's a lot of pressure on the person, but then they have to come in and they run that audit, they look at what they need. And from experience, I have found a lot of people tend to spend all their money on this new shiny director, and then there's very little left for this team that they want to build, and all the tools and the capabilities that you need to make it work. So there are, as you say, many ways to do it, but certainly thought about not only by COVID, but by growth itself and where firms want to get to. There is a need to take that step back, look at what you've got, and whether it get where you want to go in terms of your marketing and your business development.